Welcome back, everybody, to Ignite. Ignite 10, what do you call it? One-on-one.
One-on-one.
Okay? Until we have a better name, which we will probably develop something before the end of this episode, including our studio audience. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We have a lot of people here. I say probably 10% of our fans are in the room right now.
It's 10,000 people.
Exactly. All right. So we're just adding to our format ultimately, and we would like to get to know Micah for obvious reasons, because we all want to get to know each other better. So tell me something. What should I know about you?
Well, I'm a senior in high school right now, and I'm looking to go to college at the local community college, and I'm just preparing for my future because I know there's so much out there for me, and I'm just ready to tackle it
That's
head
fantastic.
on.
I love it.
I mean, I have a great group of people around me, and I think I'm set for the future. And there's just steps I have to take, and then once I take those, I think there's really no stopping me. So.
Absolutely. I like that attitude. I completely agree with that. So through this Ignite program, we talk about a lot of life questions, things that I think should really be answered, especially for young people. One of the questions that we talk about right in the beginning would be, personalities. I think personality tests are fantastic because if you don't understand it or you've never taken one, it's very eye-opening. And through this program, I do it specifically to figure out what your strengths are, like things that you're good at. And I know we got a little bit of a cheat sheet in front of us to kind of remind ourselves, because it's, we know, I should say, once you discover what they are by asking the right questions, it's easy to then lean into that. Like, this is what you're really good at. Be good at that.
Yeah.
Because I think when they teach about this kind of stuff mildly in school, the thing that I think that my biggest reason for why I say the school system failed me is because they told me, just like they're telling you, you have to be good at everything. If you're not good at everything, you're not going to get what you want in life. And I think that it is a terrible thing to do to a child, right? Someone who's in the development stages.
Yeah, sure.
You should not, you can't judge a fish's ability to climb a tree in the real world. That's not a strength. It's a complete weakness. He can't do it, right? But so that's why, developing, going through this program, discovering your strengths. So I want to know kind of what some of your strengths are, and then tell me that, as you've discovered this for yourself, maybe some application, like I'm really good at this, and I can tell that I'm good at it.
Yeah.
I want a free-flowing answer, so you just answer it how you like.
Sure.
So give me one of your biggest top 5 strengths.
Probably one of my biggest strengths is definitely respect. I have to say respect, because that's just I see it so much, respect not being valued, especially in a young community like the high school, and I just see it. It's such an undervalued value to have. It's very. I see it misused a lot. I see it people getting disrespected. Teachers and staff, and it's just not. It's really not something everybody shouldn't have. It's something everybody should have, because it's so core to who we are, and because everybody we respect, that's people we learn from. That's the people who really help us get through everything we go through, and just the building blocks of who we are kind of based off of people we respect, because we look up to them, obviously. So I think respect is one of my biggest, because that's who I want to be. I want to be someone who respects people, and I get that respect back, because it's not something that you just automatically have. I think the respect is earned through your actions and how you carry yourself. And I want to be a person who other people look at and be like, I respect that person because how he carries himself and how he acts. So that's probably my number one.
Sure.
Honestly. But,
okay. And now it's a strength, obviously, because you just said it was. It can also be one of your values. Right?
It's true.
And you notice when you see it, when someone's being disrespected, it's terrible for you to witness, I would imagine. Yes or no?
Yes,
right.
Sure.
Young students disrespecting teachers. I understand it can be difficult to respect teachers, especially if they're disrespecting you right back, or they're giving you a little bit of a hassle.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that, and it's I'm not going to give you my respect. You're not respecting me.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as that's broken, good luck. Good luck to that teacher trying to gain that back.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen. Most people in my life will enter my life at a 0 respect level. I don't know if I should disrespect you or respect you yet. I know nothing about you. So it's probably not a 0. It's probably a +1. I'll give you the right to respect, and let's build it up from there.
Exactly.
And, so again, when something goes against you, is there any instance at school where you're like, dang, that is terrible? Like something
yeah.
you witnessed?
Just general, like, just etiquette, basically. General school etiquette. When you're in a classroom, just the expectation to sit down and listen to the teacher, it's not followed at all. I feel like it's it's kind of hard to see. Obviously, there's times where I've had bad teachers. I've had teachers who have disrespected me and made comments towards me or judged me based off of something. And I understand a lot of people experience that too. They have bad teachers, and I sympathize with those people because I've experienced it before. There's an instance like in my English class. Like it was one of the first days of the year. It's my senior year, and so most of the people in the class I've met before, or I've had some experience with them. But there was this one kid I've never seen in that class before, and he comes in and he sits down, and the teacher comes up and is talking, and he's just totally out of it, on his phone, talking, laughing, commenting on what the teacher's saying, and it's kind of tough to see, obviously, because there's so many kids in there. The people I meet, or the people that I've met in the room, my friends, I can tell like they are so focused on like their future, and they want to learn, they want to benefit from the class that they're in, and then that student just disrespecting the teacher and totally throwing the whole lesson off. But luckily that the teacher, he didn't take that. Obviously, he's the type of guy that he will not take any disrespect. He's a ex-military veteran, and so when you're in the military, that's what you're expected of, is respect. That's like the huge thing. So he will not take any disrespect, and he stopped that student pretty quick. So that's something that I admire about him, is that he's a great when it comes to people being disrespectful, because he shuts it down right away.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, especially with this program. Like, I wouldn't say I hand select people to join this, but I am looking for a particular type of aura. I don't know. So,
Yeah.
An ideal client,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak, right? And disrespectful and that kind of stuff. I have no time for it.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it many times. I can only rescue the ones that are swimming toward me. And if you're swimming toward me, you better show at least some sort of respect.
Yeah.
You don't have to honor me. I don't need a level 10 respect, but boy, you disrespect me. I got no time for that, man. Right?
Yeah.
Because I'd rather work with a bunch of people that are respectful. So what's another one of your strengths?
Another one of my strengths is just curiosity in general. I'm just super curious I want to know every little detail about everything I'm looking into, whether it be like a video gets stuck in on YouTube. Like, I go scrolling for hours just because it's so interesting, and I just want to learn everything about that topic. Or it's like a new opportunity, like video editing that I got into. I think it's such an important strength to have, is because like back to the teacher situation and curiosity. I don't think that student he didn't realize what the class could do for him, because that teacher he's taught me so many lessons that I carry with me in my everyday life, and just being able to be curious enough to listen into what he's talking about, because every day he'll give a speech. He'll give like a short paragraph from this philosopher's book that he's reading called Epictetus, and so he gives a paragraph each day, and just sitting down and listening to it once, I knew that was something I needed to listen to, and something I could use for my advantage. So just having that curiosity to explore things and opportunities that you might not see by just looking at it at face value, like with editing, again, the example, like just seeing the way it works and just being curious about the details, and it really led me into it, and I'm really happy that it did, because I think I can definitely get better at it, and I can use it in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do want to tell a story though. I was about like 8 or 9 years old, and every year for a family trip we go down to Florida, and it's near like Fort Lauderdale area, and so this particular year we had never done it before. We took this charter boat out to the ocean, and it's this guy we've never seen before. He has like a thick accent, like he's leading on this boat that's like it does not look like something I'd want to take out to the open ocean.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And with this scuba gear that I could not say that it would actually provide any scuba, whatever you call it, actually. But the plan was to go snorkeling out in the coral reef and to see the fish. And so we get on the boat and we're driving out, and all I can think of is just like how bad this could go and everything that could go wrong, and my brain is just like filled with just negative thoughts. That's all I can think of things that could go bad. So I'm so scared, and we get to the spot, and I walk up to the back of the boat, and I put my scuba mask on, and I'm ready to go, and I'm so nervous, and they just tell me to jump in, so I jump right in, and as soon as I hit the water, I feel the fish like climbing up or like swimming around my legs, and I can feel them like swimming past me, and it freaked me out. It's just totally freaked me out, and I dipped my head underwater, and it was amazing because I had all this fear before, and I just dunked my head down, and it was like one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. There was like 150, 200 fish just all over, different colors and patterns. It was really great, and I kind of I saw that, and I was I was floating in the water, but in that kind of like moment of everything going on, I kind of like thought about it. I'm like, wow, this is really beautiful, and this is an experience that I'm gonna cherish for a while. So just having that curiosity to just dive under and really explore what's like beneath the surface, it just opened me up to so much more beauty and just opportunity that I would not have seen. So I think it's really important just to not take things at face value, because there's so much more under the surface, and it just takes that one dunk under the water to just find that.
Right, that's awesome. It's a whole new world. I don't want to say the
Exactly.
song or whatever, but
Yeah.
a whole new world. You have all this up here, and then just that one
Yeah.
thin line of air to water, this
Yeah.
whole thing.
Right through.
That's very, very cool. That sense of curiosity. Most people will never do it. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. I don't want to go too much into more strengths. I mean, unless you got tell me maybe one more of your strong strengths.
I mean, I have leadership wrote down. I just sometimes just like taking a leadership role. I find it's something I do subconsciously. It's not really something I sit like, okay, I'm going to be the leader. I don't really. That's not me. Kind of when I take like a leadership role, it's usually I just fall into that, and then I realize it later. I was like, okay, I was being a leader. Like, so I guess maybe my subconscious, I just notice situations where there's a lack of order or a lack of, synchronization. And I just kind of step into that role and like kind of take control of the situation. So it could be anywhere. It's a lot of the times it's either in school for a group project. That's a lot of the times what it is, but it's also, it could be at work, or it could be anywhere, but I just find myself taking the leadership role pretty often when there's no leadership role there that I can see.
I agree.
Yeah.
You'll see this develop over your lifetime.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like there's leadership roles everywhere. Not just like a boss to a subordinate type of person.
Yeah.
It would be like all the subordinates. I guess I hate that word, but all the people that would work for a boss.
Yeah.
So when you start going, or like a teacher situation, because I know you're going to go to CLC, and one of the things you want to learn is because of your curiosity, which is awesome, mechanicals, right? There will be the teacher, and then if there's like 4 or 5 of you guys wanting to work on a particular project, there will be an immediate situation for a leader to step up. Because there's going to be 2 in that group that don't really know what to do. They're nervous. They're afraid to step into that role. Where someone like yourself sees it, like without even saying, "Hey, I'm going to be the leader." You're just going to be like, "Hey, we should just get started. Let's see what we got. What's the problem we're trying to fix?" And your friendliness, all that starts to kick in. The second in charge, so to speak, the one who would do it if you weren't there, all of a sudden knows his role. I'm a great second player. Like I like that. I like when someone's in charge, kind of give me something to do.
Yeah.
I can step into that role real quick. Most of the time, though, in my life, I'm in leadership situations, which I also like. Okay, but if I respect and understand what the leader's trying to tell me, I can step into that role real quick. But again, back to that other thing, there's going to be 2 fellas in that class that are or more that are going to lean into you a lot, because now the teacher's not with you working on it with the particular project, whatever that might be. You're the guy that's kind of helping and guiding, and it will pay you massive dividends in your life, because it's just a natural thing that you have. It's a strength that you have, and I freaking love it. Okay, so I don't want to cut any. Are there any other strengths that you kind of want to share? Because I know the audience right now is getting a lot out of this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are watching you saying, "I can relate to that."
Yeah, that's about like my top 3. We can go into more later in detail. There's a couple smaller ones, but those are the big ones to me.
Okay, and those are huge. Those are absolutely huge. As I'm kind of going through this, then give me a weakness. something that's kind of like holding you back. And then, so tell me what it would be. And the question I would have on that: are there any jobs out there that could kind of fill that role? It's like, in other words, it's okay to not be good at that. That's one of the things that I hate about the school system. Again, I'm going to keep bringing it up because that's one of the reasons why I developed this program, is because we're supposed to be good at everything. And what if you're not? What if you're not artsy and you're more mechanical? Like, you get the math behind things. You understand how carburetors work and the mechanicals of a car. You have the engineering side. You don't necessarily need to be well-spoken and be able to write paragraphs and a writer and a creator, like that kind of thing. You don't have to be good at it. Your friend is good at that. So what are some of your weaknesses, and is there a job that could overcome that? Like friends of yours that are actually good at it? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think one of my biggest weaknesses is just anxiety. I think I get it from both sides of my family, and it just ran right to me. Honestly, I just like when I was on the boat to go scuba diving, that's all I could think. My head was just filled with anxiety. And we're going again to Florida actually on Wednesday, so that's really exciting. But again, I'm just, a lot of my thoughts right now are the things that could go wrong, obviously, and that's one of the things I love about the program so much is that it wasn't one-sided. It didn't just tell you what your strengths were. It also gave you your weaknesses, like what you weren't good at and what to avoid and what you can adapt your job around to kind of combat those weaknesses. So I think like doing an online course, having something where I can teach people where I'm not fully in person, and so that might help with my anxiety a little bit, because that's more focused towards, obviously it's a group of people, but it would be a little easier for me to teach an online class, and I could do more people that way, I feel like.
Agreed.
So just being able to it's really important to find a job that you can benefit from your weakness instead of finding a job that it'll hurt you with that weakness. So it's important. Yeah, I
agree. And we were talking about like creating a YouTube channel. I know you have some hobbies that you're actually leaning into. We might get into that a little bit later, but we'll tap onto it just very lightly right now. You were a horticulturist, like you lean toward that kind of stuff, right? And horticulture channels do very well if they're entertaining. And I know there's one way to speak very scientifically right at the camera, and there's another way to walk around in your backyard and you just talk about the stuff.
Yeah,
right?
That's me.
That's totally you. Like one would bring you anxiety, one brings you comfort. I would imagine, right? Because it's easy for you.
Yeah.
It's not anxiety inducing. As opposed to, okay, they're going to talk about the, that.
No, yeah, just
like, how about you follow me, and you just start talking about the thing, whatever that might be. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so anxiety is one of your weaknesses. Anything else in
definitely,
particular
for sure.
that could be farmed out?
I think distraction, just getting distracted in general. It could be anything. My phone is obviously a huge one, but I think everybody is distracted by their phone at one point. I mean, it's so easy to just scroll and scroll. And with my curiosity, sometimes like that, it can be a weakness too, because when I'm scrolling, I get curious at random things, and I want to switch, flip my script and just look at this video and look at all the videos relating it, and then I realize it's 3 hours have passed, and I've haven't gotten anything done. So it can be a strength and a weakness, but I try to look at educational videos, or I try to look at history. I love history, so if I look at a video about ancient pyramids or something like that, that seems beneficial to me. So I think that's what more people should try to do. Is there's Instagram and stuff, but there's so many other videos that are educational that you could watch that are entertaining, because there's people out there to do it. So I'd love to get into making YouTube videos about everything to know about gardening, or how you can start one at home in a limited space, or with as much space as you have. So I think that'd be awesome to get into, is YouTube. I'd love to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And all you need is a camera and something to talk about. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, documentaries are fantastic. These, especially people that found it interesting.
Yeah.
Any kind of documentary on the pyramids, you brought it up, right?
Yeah.
That would be a very fun thing to watch, because they put countless hours, and certainly they funded it to make it as good as possible.
Yeah.
And with all the writing and scripting that has to be done for something like that, I put together smaller types of things like that with my video production company. I know what it takes. I would have no way of. I don't have a desire to take on the massive project that something like what National Geographic would put out. Like, holy moly, some of these things, good Lord, they're so good, right? And I find them so fascinating. I'm so interested in the cinematography side of it, as well as the information. right? And they're just tapping what 1% of what it actually is, probably.
Yeah.
Because there's so much information out there, right? And gardening, boy, it's a hobby. Like, it's got to be a billion-dollar hobby out there for someone. It's a good thing to talk about.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's been, it's been in our history since the beginning of time, basically. I mean, agriculture, just growing food, and that just something about just like having a little seedling and like just watching it grow. It's like a baby, when you have and you have a kid and you watch it develop, and you watch it grow, and just something about that is so fascinating to me. Just like, God's creation, just taking something that he provided for you, and then building it up and watching it progress and seeing what you can do to make it better. Mm-hmm. And just something about that just strikes me, and it goes both ways, because you can you can give it back to the community. That's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I want to figure out a way to just take what I love to make a profit off of that, because I think that's the key to happiness personally, is taking something you love and making that your job, making that your hobby, and how to do that. That's really fascinating.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yep. I'll wrap up this part, like when talking about like weaknesses.
Yeah.
One of the things I don't like doing is taxes and stuff like that for my own business personally, and I couldn't wait to farm out because I don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. I had zero desire, and let's be honest, I'm not very good at it. To hire a CPA, just get them on my staff, and good. You take care of all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because they can't do what I do. Their strengths are not my. You get it, right? They need me because they can't sell anything. Mm-hmm. So I do like that a lot. So before we get into our next thing here, well, I guess values. Things that you value. Have you written down some of your,
Yeah.
one of our more popular modules in this particular, in this course, is understanding values. And I had one teacher say, "Well, we talk about that in my school." I'm like, yeah, but probably not like how we do. Mm-hmm. I think it's such a popular module within the people that have taken it, because we dive into it so much deeper.
Yeah.
And then I make you define what they actually are by looking at a massive list of I think in school they might give, who knows, 100 of them or something like that.
Yeah.
100 or less. Our list is very extensive at 350. Figure out who you are through that particular thing. So what are some of your values?
One of my values for sure is definitely loyalty. I mean, just to be loyal to something and be committed to really like reaching your goal. Because like with this program, when I first joined, I wasn't, I've never been part of anything like this before that has really impacted me in such a positive way and like totally steered my life course. But just being loyal to the program and coming every session and just showing up and being there for the team and being there for the family that we are, really. That's proven to be so beneficial. And yeah, like you said, I mean, values, I can tell why it's so popular, because they're the building blocks. They're what you base your whole life off of, is the values. And, they don't always stay the same, and they're going to change throughout your course of your life, but that's natural, and that means you're progressing and you're getting better. So loyalty is definitely up there for sure.
And it's a great one. It's one of mine too. Yeah. Yeah. And it's a little bit difficult to define, actually. And I don't know if it's actually accurate. I think it is, because I've done it before, but it's been a while since I've looked. And if you look up loyalty in the dictionary, it says the act of being loyal.
Yeah.
Which tells you nothing, right? I mean, of course, then if you dive deeper, you can probably figure out what the definition of loyal then means. Mm-hmm. That's the act of, loyal would be what you do when you're being loyalty. It's like the circle is stupid.
Just go over and over.
Okay, what does it really mean? It means I got your back.
Yeah.
Ultimately, through thick and thin. And it's built so much on respect. So much of it's on respect, because disrespect can destroy loyalty very quickly. Yeah.
I think the sphere of influence ties into it too. Just the people you surround yourself with. Mm-hmm. If you find the people and they're loyal to what you want to do, and they're loyal to they want to see you succeed, that's huge. I mean, my sphere of influence, I feel, has gotten so much better in this short term of this short period of my life. It's going to be like that. But I like to think back and be like, wow, like I'm so glad that I took advantage of that, because influence is one of the biggest things. I mean, like you said, I mean, it's just like being around people who want you to succeed and want you to do better. That you're bound. I mean, you really can't fail at that point when you have people lifting you up every day, getting on your case about do it, work harder, don't give an excuse. That's so big for me.
Oh yeah, sphere of influence
Yeah.
is very, very powerful. One of the fun parts about the module system that we go through, we talk about it, I think, in week 3. We know how unbelievably important it is. So tell me a little bit about your sphere of influence.
Yeah, mostly my number one is going to be my family, because that's who I grew up with. I'm around them for most of my life. Of course, that's like who I'm with the most, and that's my grandfather for sure. He was a businessman himself. He's had multiple businesses, and he was able to balance that with traveling. He's been around the world. I mean, there's not a place he's not been. I mean, he'll send us a business card or a postcard like every year he'll be like from the pyramids to like deep in the South American jungle, of just crazy places. And I just strive to be like him so much, because just being able to do what you love and have that income, and just combining them together is it's the life I want to have, truly. And so he's definitely my number one influence. And the second one is my English teacher, because it was a recent one too. It's not been one of my top 3 of my influence, but just this year, he really climbed the ranks, because just throughout the lessons, like I mentioned earlier, the lessons that he tells every day, just picking up a little thing from each one has just helped me just better my character and just change the way I look at situations. And there's so many examples I could talk about a whole podcast about each one of his lessons that he taught. So yeah, he's really become someone I look up to and I admire gratefully. Okay. And the last one is just Ignite itself, like just the community that we have. I think it's one of my biggest spheres of influence, because just being around a group of people that lift you up, like I've said that before, like just being around people who care about you and who know you want to succeed is a game changer, because it just changes the whole way you think about things, and you address situations, because those people have your back. So that's why I think it's just so beneficial to just have that sphere of influence, and just to have that community and group. And I think we have it here, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Right. I appreciate that. Yeah. There was a Dominator program that I started. That's where this Ignite came from. And several of us from that program still hang out and talk and encourage each other and call each other out. It's a little bit stronger. It's a rougher group, meaning we don't take any crap. It's like we're here to kind of get this thing done. There's also a lot of goofing around. But I also wanted the Ignite program to kind of have that as well. And it was through like your encouragement, saying, you said multiple times, like, I really need this. I cannot stop coming to these things. Yeah. So that's why we developed a podcast, and so we can kind of continue to get together and encourage each other. And it seems like every other week someone's starting something new. Or maybe every 3 weeks or something like that, we get together. Hey, I got another business idea, right? Yeah. And even Brady, one of the guys in our studio audience, hello Brady, he was saying, hey, I got these 2 or 3 more new ideas. And like, great, let's go. He took it from something, the leader of a band, to shifting to this, to shifting back to that. Once you unlock the curiosity, because you're still walking with all your strengths and values. Of course. What do you want to do? Just you got dreams. We unlock that part of your brain. So how would you know that? Okay, so your sphere of influence also encourages the success. Yeah. How would you define some of your success that like what I don't know, what's the next thing you're kind of striving for? How will you know you're successful?
I think a lot of the times people think like success is tied to like a physical object, or money, cars, a house, women. That personally, I just don't think of it that way. I truly don't think that you can ever be fully successful, and I know maybe people won't agree with that. But to me, I think there's always something to strive for. There's always greater success you could reach. So just putting myself at a limit like that doesn't seem very great. So I think there's no real like success that you could reach, because there's always that step up. But success to me basically means like it's not really, like I said, it's not a personal, or it's not a physical object. It's more of a feeling that you have, that you're surrounded by the people that you want to be surrounded by, and you're fulfilled with how your life has gone. And so I don't think I'll know truly I'm successful until I can look back and I can see, wow, like this is exactly where I wanted to end up. And so, but yeah, like I said, I think you should always keep the door open, and for just to build on success, because it's always expanding. There's always new things you could be conquering. So I
Right.
think it's just important to just keep looking forward and don't put yourself at a limit.
Hmm. I agree. I completely agree. And as you start to get, well, then age kicks in too. I'm a little
It's
bit
true.
further down the road than you are.
Yeah.
If I'm 1 or 2 generations away, from 1.5 generations, I think, which is pretty decent, pretty good number.
Yeah.
Mine has changed. It started off as I just want to be stable. I want to have enough money that I don't have to worry about the food bill and
Yeah.
are they going to shut off the electricity this week? Like that kind of thing too. Easily affording your house, and hey, the car broke down. Okay, we have enough money for that. It doesn't stress you out anymore. So like there's certain levels of success that are, just the survival mode. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just at zero now. Now what's the next thing that we can do? Do you want the bigger house? Do you want a fancier car? Whatever it might be. And those are levels of success, I guess, if
Yeah.
that's how you define it. But I
Yeah.
mean, at some point when you have one Lamborghini, do you need two? Maybe for some people, or
I
now
think
I
it's-
now
yeah.
I want this, now I want that. At some point, you've accumulated enough things. So that's where I get to my point of my life. Like, I get fulfillment in helping other people now. I've dedicated so many hours. I could be using these hours to add a zero to my income. I don't want it anymore. I want to leave. I want to influence people
Yeah.
in a very positive way and in a fun way as well. So I've met so many young people through this program now that have become like friends of mine. Like we go
Yeah.
break bread, and you guys we'll drink sodas. We go and hang out. We do fun, silly things because we're
Yeah.
like friends now. I think it's pretty cool, and that's why I throw that age thing out the window. Who cares, man? If we're good people, all go in the right direction.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference in people's lives. Okay, so as we continue with this, you got goals. What's your number one goal?
Yeah. I think my number one is definitely like expand my garden by fourfold and just have enough to give back to the community in some way. And maybe that could become my business. And so,
Okay,
that's
so
what I
this is
wanna build
something
on.
new that you're kind of thinking about.
Yeah.
Because we always go with the acronym SMART.
Mhm.
So is that goal set? And I'm not calling you out right now, but I mean, as people set goals, you got to make sure it's specific.
Specific,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you developed it? Thought about it right now, or is it still kind of a little cloudy?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many specifics that goes into it. I mean, I don't know what produce I'm gonna grow because it's not as easy I think as everybody thinks it is. There's so many things you have to take into account: like your soil level, your soil pH, your where you're planting, what belt you're in. There's different belts, like different temperatures and zones where everything is changing. So there's a lot more to it. So I'd say specific, not yet. There's a lot to
Yeah.
do specific, but I would say it's measurable for sure because I want to do it by the end of the year and I want to increase it by fourfold. So I want my profits from last year to go up by 4. I want quadruple of everything that I've did last year because I can see how well I can do, and I know I need to make it bigger because there's so much more I can do with it.
And obviously, it's attainable.
course.
You've had some success with this
yeah,
before.
I've already
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
So
That's relevant because it's speaking to you. It's something you actually want to do. Of
course.
And through that, you could create a massive YouTube channel or informational
Yeah.
channel, sell the program, or just give it away for free because people want to learn from you.
Yeah.
You have charm and wit, and you have enough funniness in you, and certainly tons of knowledge on this particular subject.
Yeah.
And then you said it's also timely.
timely.
So
Yeah.
that's a smart that thing we were talking about. You know when you're going to do this,
Yeah.
and then what are you doing again next year?
yeah,
right?
it's so
You know?
easy just to make a goal and just to say, oh, I want to afford a house next year. I want a Lamborghini, for example. It's so easy to just say that, but making those goals smart is it's really just the next step, and it makes it so much easier to plan out your goals.
Right.
And so that's why I was introduced to the SMART, acronym here at the program, and I went from having goals like, I want to make a garden to I want, to make this much produce. I want to, this much produce, this time, and I was able to make it attainable and, check all the boxes, and it made it so much clearer for me. So I'm really glad I made it SMART, and yeah, it's going to streamline everything that I'm doing. So
Right. And now that I understand that's one of your goals, my brother owns a organic fertilizing
Yeah.
company, at 100% organic, and it's just ridiculous how good this stuff is. They're saying he's getting like double yield. In other words, you can
Really?
plant stuff, it grows so quickly, you can plant it again and it grows again, all in
Wow.
one season. And it's all absolutely natural. That's a great connection. also the power of like networking, your
Yeah.
sphere of influence. You know me, and I know him. right?
Exactly.
Now I'm going to introduce you on that, and that could be a whole nother thing because he's looking for young people who want to get into this gardening aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because there's, he sells his stuff on Amazon, right? It's just it's very easy to find. It's not complicated, but and the stuff that's in there, you would probably eat it up. Because you can talk about, you're talking about pH levels in soil and things like
Yeah.
that. For people who are into that, they're totally into it. I can't even say some of the words that he says, micrites or something. I don't know. I
Just
don't.
random, yeah.
Right, all these weird words for the stuff that's in the soil. I'm like, he says it to me all the time, and I can't. I'm not into it as much as they are. So what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so but hooking you two guys up, figure it out.
For sure.
Now we nonstop talk fest about that kind of stuff.
Sphere of
and your
influence,
your audience is going to love those kinds of things. So I love that a lot. Is there a second goal? I know you not that long ago, at the beginning of this year, you were mentioning that you want to read 12 books.
Yes.
Or something, a certain amount
12
of books. How's that going
Yeah.
for you?
It's going well. I'm on a lot of books right now.
Mhm.
I mean, so
You
to
say read
balance
like
all
I
of
do.
them. Yeah.
Right? So give me an idea. How many books you're in the process of reading?
Right now, it's 4 right
Four,
now.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm reading. I'm trying to get the full experience. It's not all one topic. I have Entrepreneur Roller Coaster I'm reading, which you introduced me to.
Yeah.
Loving it. I have a book about a World War II Air Force military, or
A story
soldier.
about- okay.
Soldier.
Yeah, a story
yeah.
about his life in the
his
military?
life in the military, and
Mhm.
and his plane crashes in the middle of the water, and it's just his story of getting back.
I've read that book.
Have you?
Yeah,
Yeah. Unbroken.
Yeah,
I think it's called.
Yeah, I've read it. Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's going great.
Mhm.
It's so good.
Mhm.
And so I love history, and that's just right on my,
Mhm.
it's right up my alley. So that, and one crime book, and then another one for school about a soldier in Afghanistan.
Okay.
So all those 4, trying to get like the wide spectrum of all the different topics,
Mhm.
entrepreneurship, and as well as history, because I love history.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's hard to put those books down, right?
I know.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I completely love. What's holding you back right now? Anything?
I think just the place where I'm at, like, I think my sphere of influence, I think I could expand on it way more.
Mhm,
I think right now it's good as it is, but it could be so much better. There's people in my life that are hurting my sphere of influence. So there's definitely people I could push out of my circle, and that would do wonders for me. So that's holding me back for sure.
Mhm.
And I think another one is my relationship with my family, or the relationship within our family. I think just trying to bring my family closer together. I think a lot of people can relate to that like sometimes just going through like arguments in the family, and like opposition, and just people holding grudges, and family events just being canceled because of the situation. It sucks, and I can feel for everybody, because I know people have been through so much worse, and just feeling it now, it's like, wow, it impacts you so much. So when that's at another level, I can empathize with people who
Mhm.
have it worse. And so just being able to bring my family closer together, I feel like could help a lot.
Mhm.
So that's kind of holding me back a little bit, but I'm working on it. It's getting better.
Mhm.
So I'm glad to be here,
Mhm.
my second family, and so teaching me how to just bring people closer together is benefiting. I'm really learning.
All right. So last question: do you feel like you have entrepreneur blood?
I think so. Yeah, I think the entrepreneur leadership book I'm reading is just how he starts from seeing the water purifier online, and then just like taking that and just heading with it, just taking it and going, and just door to door, just that basic door knocking. Just that's what I want to do. I just want to get my product out there, and I think it's the best way to do it. And so I want to tell a story. Like, for example, it was like probably same age as the when I went scuba diving, around that age, maybe older, a little older, maybe too old, but it worked anyways. But it was a lemonade stand. Basically, where I live, an area where I live, there's a liquor store like on the corner, so there's a busy road, and me and my cousin Brady, every Saturday, we'd head down. My mom would give us a ride, and we'd put all the supplies in the trunk and all the chairs and the Kool-Aid and stuff. We'd drive up to the liquor store. We'd go in and ask the guy, can we have the lemonade stand? And he'd say, yeah. So we'd set up our thing and we'd put our sign out, and we just sell lemonade. I mean, and it was so great. It was like, it was unbelievable how well we did. I think it was because it was such a busy area. There's so much traffic, and it was a hot day. So just being able to recognize that, people need this lemonade, you know what I mean? And it worked so well. I think the best tip that I got was $40 tip. So at that time, that was like, I could buy like 1,000 Pokemon cards with this or something, So at that age, it was just, that amount of money was unfathomable. But still, to this day, I mean, $120 a day, that's not bad, So, but yeah, just being able to just be at a young age and to just, I think I have entrepreneur blood, because I love seeing the fruits of my labor and seeing, the result of the work I put in, paying off so well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, so what did you do at being an entrepreneur? You know how to make money during the summer.
Yeah.
With a lemonade stand. How did you expand that into the colder months?
Yeah, I mean, we just kept going. All we had to do is switch up the product, and that, the audience stayed the same. It's just the weather, So, yeah, I just started selling hot chocolate, and mini marshmallows was extra 25 cents on the side, and we made equally or more money than that. So just being able to take advantage of having curiosity and having the mindset to there's something more that we can look into. How can we expand the business to a different season? And how can we change the product up? It's just something a skill I never really, dove into, because since that lemonade stand, I really haven't done anything for business-wise, entrepreneurship-wise. But now looking back at it, I'm like, that was a business.
Mm-hmm.
That was a
Absolutely.
legit business that I created, and it was so successful that I think I can do it again.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
I love it. Well, Micah, thank you for joining us today.
of course.
Hopefully, through our audience, you picked up on a few things, and life is difficult, but it's a little bit easier when you have friends that you can kind of run with, and
Yeah.
people that you relate to, and this sphere of influence is very, very important, right? Right? Agree?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. All right, well, join us next time, and we'll have more of these one-on-one situations. What do you want to call them? One-on-one, I don't know, interviews?
We'll come up with a name for it.
We will come up with a name.
A unique name.
And if you come up with a unique name, please leave it in the comments below. But thanks for joining me.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Clap it out like normal.